بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. فما بعد, my brothers and sisters, um, we will today we will talk about the scales of justice in our lesson on death and hereafter. The scales of justice, the mizan. Now, everyone, the basic fundamental principle is that all the deeds of a person, the good deeds and the evil deeds, will be weighed on a scale, and if the good is more than the evil, the person will get Jannah, will be among the winners, and if the evil is more than the good, then the person will be in Jahannam, in the Hellfire. Illa mashallah, of course, the ones who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives, for them the story is different, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to include us among those who He will forgive purely and purely out of His mercy and grace, insha'Allahul musta'an. Now, the point that I want to make for you and to remind myself is this, and that is that it is good to remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not count the deeds. He did not say that He will count our deeds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that He will weigh the deeds. Now, what is the significance of this? What is the difference between counting and weighing? Counting, of course, is just straightforward counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But weighing is much more complex, because weighing means what is the value of that deed, right? What is the value of that deed? What is the worth of that deed? For example, if you see a bunch of clothes, say somebody's donated clothes, and you see this huge pile of clothes, and if you count those clothes, there are 1,000 shirts and trousers, right? And another person has donated just one. You find this one suit hanger, and this person has donated that. When you pull down the zipper, you open the zipper and look inside, and there is a brand new Armani suit, which is worth $5,000. Now, which would you like to have? Just ask yourself this question: which would you like to have? This whole garbage bin full of shirts and trousers, or would you like to have one Armani suit which is worth $5,000? It's as simple as that. It is as simple as that, and that is exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will see the net worth, the value of what you and I have given in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what links back or links forward to the first hadith in Bukhari and Muslim, narrated by Umar ibn al-Khattab radhiyallahu anhu, where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is reported to have said, "Innamal a'malu bin niyat." The deed, the value of the deed, the recompense for the deed, the reward for the deed depends on its intention. Why is that? Because the intention determines whether this deed is pure in terms of what the person intended. Is it pure, and is it free from shirk? Is it free from all kinds of adulteration? What's the adulteration in deeds? It is the desire to please anyone other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A deed that is done for the sake of name and fame and popularity and so on, and to please this one and that one, compared to a deed which is done with complete and total sincerity, without being concerned about anyone other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Jalla Jalaluhu. The two are not the same. The two can never be the same. And this is what will be done on the Day of Judgment, which is that the value of the deeds will be weighed. And those who have more good deeds more than their evil deeds, even if it is a single one, will go to Jannah, and the one who has more evil than good will be somebody who will be liable to go to Jahannam. I don't say they will go to Jahannam, Allah knows best, and of course we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His forgiveness. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "And we will place the scales of justice for the day of resurrection, so no soul, no person will be treated unjustly at all. And if there is even the weight of a mustard seed, we will bring it forth. And sufficient are we as an accountant." Now, weight of a mustard seed, we will bring it forth, meaning that any deed, whatever be its uh, magnitude, small or big, will be counted. And this is very easy to understand today when we are looking at artificial intelligence and we are looking at digitally compiling things and so on and so forth. Minute things. Take for example cameras. It's something which has a camera which has the capacity to take pictures which have the more detail the picture, which is more number of megapixels, gets you a much better picture. Now, what is the size of a megapixel? What is the size of one pixel, for example? Right? It's practically nothing, but it is significant and it's important because that is what determines how clear and how good the picture is. And this is exactly how Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. I won't say it's exactly what He will do, because Allah knows best what He will do. But I'm just saying to explain as an illustration that if we say, well, my smallest deed, I smiled somewhere, I didn't do this, I did this, I did not do that. Every single thing is going to be accounted for. Now, in Islam, our belief, and this is our fundamental aqidah, is that nobody will go scot-free, meaning that no deed will be hidden, no deed will be unaccounted for. Now, whether Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards you and me for that deed, or whether He punishes us for that deed, is up to Him. But there is nothing that can be hidden. There is nothing that can escape the reckoning of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us and to save us from His reckoning and to make the hisab easy for us. Allahumma hasibna hisaban yasira. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make our hisab easy. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to make this dua, Allahumma hasibni hisaban yasira. Oh Allah, make the hisab easy. Sayyidah Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu anha, on one occasion, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually takes an account of somebody's deeds, meaning detailed account of somebody's life, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, this person will be destroyed. So Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu anha said, Ya Rasulullah, but what is hisab and yasira? What's you make this dua, oh Allah, make my hisab easy. What is that? Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, that's simply like saying, okay, where is the book? All right, here's the book. Okay, take it. Allah has forgiven everything. It's like that. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually opens the book and starts going down the list of things, there is no way that we can escape. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, subhanallah, I mean, this is something that at least I can totally and 100% vouch for, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make my hisab easy and to make your hisab easy, inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَوُضِيَ أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ. In Surah Al-Kahf, which we read every Friday, we should read it every Friday. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the tawfiq to do this. My brothers and sisters, think about this. Every single one of these things that we do, if you do it regularly, there is huge baraka in what we do. And things that you do regularly, you will find that they accumulate, and they accumulate quietly, without any comment, without any so-called noise, until it becomes a huge number of things that we do. And obviously this applies both to good and evil. So similarly, this reading Surah Al-Kahf on Friday, this is protection from Dajjal, this is the great Baraka, this is the Sunnah of Rasulullah, and this is something that he asked us to do and he ordered us to do. In this surah, we read this ayah, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ووضع الكتاب فترى المجرمين مشفقين مما فيه ويقولون يا ويلتنا ما لهذا الكتاب لا يغادر صغيرة ولا كبيرة إلا أحصاها ووجدوا ما عملوا حاضرا وَلَا يَظْلِمُ رَبُّكَ أَحَدًا. And the book, which is one's record, will be placed in the right hand for a believer in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in the left hand for the disbeliever. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His kitab in our right hand, and you will see the criminal sinners fearful of that which is recorded in this book. And they will say, woe to us, what sort of book, what kind of book is this, that leaves nothing, that leaves neither a small thing nor a big thing, but has recorded it with numbers. And they will find all that they did placed before them, and your Rabb treats no one with injustice. This is very important to remember, and believe me, this is a means and this is a source of great comfort for us, especially in times when it seems as if the greatest criminals, the greatest shayateen, the greatest and the most corrupt people in the world seem to be getting away with literally with murder, literally with any kind of crime that they do, and they seem to get away with it without any problem at all. And all that we see is that over time they just get bolder and bolder, and they keep getting and they keep doing more and more of these crimes. And sometimes the believers and people like us, we feel, you know, what is the use? I make so much effort, I'm trying to keep myself away from this and that, and even minor things. For example, you say, I must make an effort to go and pray every salah. Not only am I trying to make an effort, you might say, well, I'm not only am I trying to make an effort to pray regularly and on time, but I'm trying to do that in the masjid, while there is on the face of it, if you look at it, there are other people who forget about salah and all that. I mean, they are doing major serious crimes, but nothing happens to them. And we sometimes people who don't remember this, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's plan is works on a different time frame. They think that, they are getting away. My brothers and sisters, please understand this thing. Nobody will get away with anything whatsoever on the Day of Judgment. Every single human being, if he or she was born, will die, and if they are born, they will die, and when they die, they will be brought to account, and they will answer for what they did. Without exception. Every Musa and every Fir'aun will stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The best of them and the worst of them will stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is today, if you think about it and say, what is the biggest motivation, what is the strongest advice that one can give to oneself or to anybody else to stay on the straight and narrow path, to be truthful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what is the best advice? This is the best advice. That if you are born, you will die. And if you die, then you will be called to account. There is no exception whatsoever. They asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sayyidah Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu anha, she asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, even you? He said, even me. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that people will enter Jannah with the rahmah of Allah, with the mercy of Allah, not with their deeds. Sayyidah Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu anha said, Ya Rasulullah, even you? He said, even me. Then she said, Ya Rasulullah, then why should one do any good deed? Because if you are going to enter Jannah with the mercy of Allah, why must I do any good deed? He said, because the mercy of Allah, first of all, is linked to your good deeds. And secondly, once you enter Jannah, then the darajat in Jannah, the rewards in Jannah, the levels in Jannah, these will depend on your deeds. They asked Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what is the difference in daraja, difference in level in Jannah between somebody who did a certain number of deeds and somebody who did one more good deed, just one more. He said it is like the distance between the earth and the star you see in the sky. This is the issue of the mizan, of the weighing scale on the Day of Judgment, where deeds will be weighed, not counted. My brothers and sisters, in this world, if a person was wronged and they did not get true justice, and they saw either no injustice or they got only partial justice, then on the Day of Judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will restore to that person their rights. Nobody will be deprived and nobody will escape. The rights, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the famous hadith, Sahih Hadith in Sahih Muslim, the rights shall be returned to the proper individuals on the day of resurrection, even to the detail of just retribution of the broken horned sheep from the two horned sheep who had hit it. Imagine, we are not even talking about human beings, even animals. If there was one sheep which butted another sheep, and this sheep was, because his horn was broken, it could not retaliate, then on the day of judgment they will be given the opportunity, and this one will be given the opportunity of extracting retribution. Hudayfa bin Yaman radiallahu anhu, he said that people used to ask Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam about good things, but I used to ask him about bad things because I was afraid that they might overtake me. Like people used to ask him about good things, and what is a date like in Jannah, or what is the apple like in Jannah, what is the grape like in Jannah. He said I used to ask him about punishments and things like that because I was afraid that these might overtake me. And this Hudayfa bin Yaman radiallahu anhu was the confidant of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he was one of the greatest of the Sahaba. And it shows there the level of these people's taqwa and their connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he said that I asked one day, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we were lost in ignorance, in jahiliyyah and evil, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought this good, that is Islam. Will some evil come after this good thing? And he said yes. And I asked, will some good come after that evil? He said yes, but it will be tainted with some evil. I then asked him, how will it be tainted? And he said, there will be some people who will lead others on a path different from mine. You will see good and bad in them. So here we are seeing what Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, which is that he said that there is good and there is bad, and there will be some good which comes out, and there will be some evil after that, and then that evil will finish and some good will come, but that good will not be like the first one, completely pure. It will be tainted, and that is because some things good and some things bad will be mixed, and people will try to take their followers on a path which is different from the path of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then he said, Hudayfa radiallahu anhu bin Yaman, he said, I asked, will some evil come after that good? And he said, some people will stand and call. They will be standing and calling at the gates of Jahannam. Whoever responds to their call, they will throw him into the hellfire. And then Hudayfa radiallahu anhu said, I asked him, Ya Rasulullah, please describe them for us. Who are these people? And he said, they will be from our own people, and they will speak our language. And I asked, what do you advise me to do if I should live to see that? He said, stick to the Jama'ah, stick to the main body of Muslims and their leader, their Imam. Stick to the Jama'ah and the Imam. Now, remember, think about this. He's saying, don't follow these deviant sects. Don't follow somebody who comes with this great invention, thinking that, this is something that is new, and somebody comes and says, do this thing and so on, so on. My sheikh said this, and my sheikh is this great, whatever, right? Saint. No, please understand, there is no saint. Saint and sainthood is a Christian concept. There are no saints in Islam. Rasulullah stick to the path of Rasulullah, and he said that stick to the main body, the Jama'ah of the Muslims and their leader, which is the Imam. And then Huzaifa radiallahu anhu said, I asked him, what if there is no main body and no leader? And he sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, then isolate yourself from all of these sects, even if you have to eat the roots of trees until death overcomes you while you are in that state. He said, if there is no Jama'ah, if there is such complete confusion that there is no sticking to the truth, there is no Amar bil Maruf and Nahy anil Munkar, then he said, withdraw from society, go and live somewhere. Even if you are in abject poverty and you have to eat the roots of trees and in the end you die, that is better for you than to mix with these people who have all these evil tendencies and evil, evil sects, and be with them. Then another beautiful hadith of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, and Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu is, I think he is one of the he is one of the greatest of the Sahaba, and he is the only one from whom Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whatever Abdullah bin Masud states from me, take it. So Abdullah bin Masud radiallahu anhu said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Islam began as something strange and it will revert to being strange as it was in the beginning. So good tidings for the strangers. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Bada al-Islam ghariban sayaudu kama bada fatuba lil ghuraba. He said, they give the glad tidings of Tuba to the people who are called gharib, al-ghuraba, which means strangers. Now Tuba is a tree in Jannah, so he said, give glad tidings of Jannah. Somebody asked him, who are the strangers? And he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the ones who break away from their people, literally tribes, for the sake of Islam. The ones who break away from their people for the sake of Islam. Now nobody says this doesn't mean that you create fights or something, or you create divisions. What it means that you don't follow people in evil. In another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned, he said the decline of Bani Israel came when there were people who did something wrong in the Bani Israel. He said that there were people who did something wrong, and then obviously when the person did something wrong, there were religious people, there were knowledgeable people there, and they said to this person, look, what you are doing is haram, don't do this. But this person didn't stop. They continued in their wrongful activity. And then listen carefully. Now what then happened was that the people who warned this person, the people who had admonished this person, did not break their ties with that person. They continued their relationship with that person. They continued to accept their invitation. They continued to invite them. They continued to have relationship with them because of family, because of society, because of tribe, because of whatever, right? Culture and so on. Now Rasulullah said that this is when the decline of Bani Israel started, because people, instead of using the obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as being the reason for being together, they used other reasons, which is nationality, ethnicity, tribal loyalty, family loyalty, and so on. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna hadihi ummatukum ummatan wahida wa ana rabbukum fa'budun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, verily this ummah of yours, this brotherhood of yours is one brotherhood, this brotherhood of faith, because that is what joins us and keeps us together. Allah said, this brotherhood of yours is one brotherhood. I am your Rabb, so worship me. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that the adhesive of the Muslims, what keeps the hearts of the Muslims together, is the fact that we worship only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah did not say your ummah is one because you are all Arab, or you are all Indian, or you are all Hyderabadi, or something. Of course we are not. We are diverse. We are all over the world. So what is it that makes a Somali Muslim my brother? What is it that makes an Arab Muslim my brother? What is it that makes for example, somebody who until yesterday was not a Muslim, today this person accepts Islam, this person is my brother. All humanity are brothers. This is a different level. So all of you, everybody is my brother and my sister, whoever they might be. Religion, no religion, every atheist is my brother, every Hindu, every Sikh, every Jew, every Christian, anybody is my brother and sister without exception. This is the brotherhood of humanity. What does that entitle them from me? It entitles them to receive good treatment from me. It entitles them that to receive any help that I can help them in any way. That I should treat them well. I should have good manners with them. I should thank them. I should help them, and so on and so forth. If they are my neighbors, I must be good to them. I must ensure that they are not harmed or they are not disturbed by any of my actions, anything I say or do. All of this they are entitled. But then there is a second level of brotherhood, and that is the brotherhood of faith. And this brotherhood of faith is restricted only to those who believe in La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, that there is no one worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is the messenger and he is the last and final messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a special level, this is a much closer level of brotherhood, and that is restricted to people of the faith of Islam. And what is the adhesive for that? It is not humanity. It is the common belief that we have, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our Rabb, and this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us. Inna hadhihi ummatukum ummatan wahida wa ana rabbukum fa'budun. And he said in another place, inna hadhihi ummatukum ummatan wahida wa ana rabbukum fattaqun. Only the one word has changed from fa'budun to fattaqun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, this ummah of yours is one ummah, and I am your Rabb, I am your God, your Lord, your creator, sustainer, maintainer, protector, provider of everything that you need and want, and therefore worship only me. In another place Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and this ummah of yours, this brotherhood of yours is one brotherhood, and I am your Rabb, so obey me. Fattaqoon, yani have this fear of disobeying me. Have the fear of, have my taqwa, have the fear of displeasing me. Do everything, every action with only one intention, which is to please me. This is Islam, this is the root of Islam, and this is the niyyah based on which our deeds will be collected, and our deeds will be weighed on the Day of Judgment. I therefore remind myself anew, it is so critically important to be continuously conscious of the reason why we do something. We know the famous hadith called the Hadith of the Thalath, where Rasulullah said that the first person, first three people we talked about, that's why it's called Thalath 3. He said the first person to be thrown into Jahannam will be a religious scholar, a Muslim alim, a Muslim religious scholar who will be brought before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he will be asked, what did you do? And he will say, oh Allah, I learnt Islam and I taught Islam for your sake. And it will be said to him, you lied. You learnt Islam and you taught Islam so that you will be known as a great scholar. Right? You learnt Islam and you taught Islam so that you will be known as a great scholar. And it will be said to him, and this was done. This happened. You were called a great scholar. And here today there is nothing for you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, throw him into the hellfire. We ask Allah for his protection. And then Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, a second person will come, and this second person will be somebody who he will be asked, what did you do? And this person will say that, oh Allah, you gave me wealth and I spent this wealth in your path in order to earn your pleasure. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and it will be said to him that you lied, you spent the wealth so that you would be known as a great philanthropist, as a huge charitable person, and this happened. You were known in the world, you got this award, that award, for being a great philanthropist. Here there is nothing for you, and he is in the hellfire. And the third one, he will be asked, what did you do? He will say, oh Allah, I spent everything I had in your path. I went out in your path. I went to fight for you. I went out in your path to struggle for you and for your deen. And in that process, I was killed. So I was shaheed in your path. It will be said to him, you lied. You did all of that so that you would be known as a brave man, as a great warrior, as this and that. And all this happened. Here there is nothing for you, and you would be and the person will be thrown into the hellfire. So here we are not talking here about people who are not Muslim. We are talking about not just Muslims, but a Muslim scholar, a Muslim philanthropist, and a Muslim shaheed. On the face of it, this is what we are seeing. But in reality, they will be the first three people to be thrown into the hellfire. Why? Not because they did not do, within quotes, good deeds, but because those good deeds were tainted with the desire to please the world and not to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasulullah said, there are two things which are more detrimental and harmful to a person's good deeds than two wolves who are let into a sheep pen. Right? A pen full of sheep, if two hungry wolves are let into, or they get into this sheep pen, what will they do? They will kill all the sheep. This is what wolves do. They don't just take one sheep and say, let us share it and eat it. No, they kill all the sheep. They rip out the throats. They kill all the sheep. They may eat even a small piece out of one, but they kill all the sheep. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that there are two things which are, he didn't say they are as harmful as, he said they are even more harmful than this situation. And he gave this example, and he said that those two things are the love of money and the love of fame. So doing deeds for money and for fame. Now think about those who talk about doing dawah and charging money for it, and who do dawah and then they are focused on how many Facebook likes and how many YouTube hits. Think about that, my brothers and sisters. It's high time we should make istighfar and tawbah and get out of this. Otherwise, may Allah protect us on the day of judgment. What we think is good will take us into the hellfire. In another place, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, there are two things which are more harmful to the good deeds of a person than and they eat up those good deeds faster than a fire in dry wood. And he said the same thing: love for money and love for fame. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us ikhlasun niyyah, to give us sincerity of intention, and to enable us to do things in a way where our deeds will be worth something. They will have weight, so that on the day of judgment, our mizan, our scales will be heavy with good deeds, and we seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's forgiveness and His mercy, without which nothing is possible. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyil kareem wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in bi rahmatika arhamar rahimin. Wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.